Hey everybody, it's Apex Investor. This post on HOLO short squeeze really warrants an investigation. It warrants a closer look. So this post by Purple Document talking about the amount of short shares or shares short being 20 million, which is the entirety of the float. When I didn't click on the link in my video update, so I did that here. This is a short update, just a follow up. If we look at the chart, or not really the chart, this list, October the 7th and the 8th and the 9th, we can see the short volume ratio. Actually, it's more I'm looking at the short volume. Uh, let's see, short volume, FINRA short volume. So they have 22 million. Notice at 22 million, 14 million, 14 million. Then it gets smaller and smaller, and we see no action. However, on Friday it was 11 million, but the total aggregate volume really speaks, no pun intended, volumes, because on the 7th, if we let's look at the price action in regards to is there a relationship between the aggregate total volume? Because I am not looking at the numbers. The short volume ratio, for example, I'm just ignoring that. I'm only looking at the correlation between the aggregate total. So let's look at the 7th to the 9th of October to see where the price was in relation to the aggregate short volume, total aggregate. Okay, so 38 million, 23 million, 24. So 7 and 8. Here it was. And the 7th, the price was, let's just say, $5 roughly, $5. And then it went down a little bit, but stayed stable at $5 the next day. And the 9th was up to $8. So between 450 to 820. And since then, we've seen a market decrease in volume, aggregate total volume. Again, I really feel that volume is what drives this stock. We see 20 million on the 1st of November, and that's where we see an inflection point. We see a change, a big change in terms of the percentage points, 27%. So if this continues, and hopefully it does, this is going to be really interesting. Because as much as there have been posts regarding percentage of short volume ratio, the FINRA short volume, I really don't see the relationship. I don't know if it's just me. I just can't see the relationship between short volume and the price. Maybe I'm just not smart enough to understand it, but look at that, 22. Saying there's 22 million short shares out of a possible 38, and then 14 out of 23, and then 14 again out of 24. But then it really markedly decreases. So I don't think there's a relationship between the short volume. I think it's more just the total volume, just volume of the stock, period. And for me, in my opinion, it's like a valve that they're just turning on and shutting off at will. It's not like they are at the mercy of anyone. They're doing this, in my opinion. I think they're doing this themselves, and they're timing it in accordance to whatever their schedule is. So they're waiting it out, and I don't see how making the retail investors lose heart, and some people are actually cashing out early because they don't want to wait too long. That's not going to help their. It's not going to help the stock skyrocket. But at the same time, if they are truly playing both sides of the chessboard, so to speak, they're shorting it and also pumping it, then I guess it really doesn't matter to them. So I mean, why even pump it? You could ask. But problem is, if you put all your uh, if you're banking on it being shorted, they're not helping themselves either because they're going to be delisted. So it's 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 in their best interest. It is in their best interests to pump it because they're going to be a lot richer. I mean, it's just common sense. So, HOLO people, please pump it. HOLO administration, pump this stock. Stop waiting so long. But, we do have to wait. That's the conundrum. We're waiting for them to pump this, and it could happen any day now. But my estimate is, I think we're looking at least $10, as high as 20. We will see. It looks like the resistance is clear at 14. But when I look at the 6-month chart, which you can't see on the browser version, but in the app, there is a 6-month chart, and in the 6-month chart, it says $40 on June the 4th, and 64 on May the 14th. So let's try to show that to you. So again, I said June the 4th. So let's look at the peak, June the 4th. So it was as high as 40 and as low as 30. So 30 to 40, that's in the realm of possibility. So that could be the second spike. And then May the 14th gives us another idea. So May 14th, right? Where's that? May 14. I have $64. I don't know if it's showing up on. No, it just skips right over it. Well, in any case, it's probably between 40 to 60 for the absolute ceiling, in my opinion. Just because, it's not looking so good for the stock. I know it seems like they can turn it on and off at will, but they're having some trouble. Let's be frank, they're not able to just squeeze it as high as they wanted for the initial first squeeze, and then the second one, like that, they get progressively lower. So my expectation is for it to not get any higher than 60, but at least $10. At least a 10 to 14, and maybe even 20, maybe even 40. But I mean, it's up to you, whatever price you want to sell this at. So thanks for your time. I hope this update was helpful. It certainly was. Gives us a better perspective as to the short volume. I mean, I'm not so knowledgeable about this aspect of things, looking at the short volume, because again, I don't put a lot of faith and confidence in the data regarding naked shorts and so on. Number of short shares, I really don't put any faith into that, because the stock market is just so corrupt and manipulated. So you can't really put your faith in that. It has to be more solid numbers, looking at true resistance, true support. So I think that's the better tell in terms of determining, what's going on, and the volume clearly is a big tell. It's probably the biggest indicator of how well the stock is doing. If you look at the volume here, 8 million, and then another 9 million. But here it's massive. So what happened here? Why couldn't it take off on the 9th? That is really puzzling to me. Because if it got as high as $14 on 8.3 million volume, 8.4, and then 9.3, and it's only at 938, but you're looking at almost 5 times as much volume, but it's not 5 times as much in terms of the price being, going to 40, for example. It should have. So what is going on there? That is really puzzling to me. And then here we see 29 million. So what is going on? Why is this stock not going to where we're expecting it to go? I don't know. I guess I just have to show more patience, but I mean, the good thing that I can take, the takeaway I can say in regards of a positive takeaway is that the volume has been looking good in the last month. We had the 38 million and then more recently 29 million. So as long as we're above 10 million of volume, the stock is going to go places. It's going to go much higher. So what is going to be the drivers of that volume? Is it going to be big, whales buying into the stock? Is it going to be something else? Is it the administration basically selling and buying the stock themselves? I don't know. But once we see those large amounts of volume, as we saw on Friday, hopefully this continues, that this is a trend that will continue in this coming week. So that's all I can say for now. So thanks for your time. I know the last video was a bit of a downer. I was just presenting the reality, but this is looking like a very good indicator for a shift. The tide is turning. Hopefully that's how things should be going. But we'll see after the end of the trading session later today. And actually, even not just for today, we're not looking only at Monday, we're looking at the full week, and especially the what will happen to the rest of the stock market November 5th, November 6th, post the U.S. election, and then into Friday. How much will the stock be affected, since it's not an American stock, it is a Chinese stock. So that's going to be interesting to say the least. So thanks for your time, and until next update, God bless you and God bless your investments.